You know, when you think of places of worship, you typically imagine grand architecture in mosques or churches and temples. But here in Scarborough, a lot of these places of worship are secretly hidden in commercial spaces, industrial plazas. These are places where you only get hints of it through a little signage, a little cross, a little emblem, very specific and kind of quiet architectural features. So over the last 3 years, I've been taking the bus, driving, walking predominantly all around Scarborough to discover these places of worship that are well hidden in just little nooks and crannies of the suburban landscape. My name is Esmond Lee and I'm a practicing architect and artist. Today we're at Malvern Town Centre. I look at the front entrance where my installation is situated. This piece is called Gods Among Us. In Gods Among Us, I explore long-term and intergenerational experience of migration. This is drawn from my own family history, migrating in Scarborough in the 80s where we first arrived. I did my Master's of Architecture at U of T, graduated in 2010. I did a lot of investigation on photography and how that can really supplement our process of reimagining spaces. So in my project Gods Among Us, I document the over 300 places of worship in Scarborough. They're places of religion and spirituality, but more important, the way I'm looking at them is that they're places of support for new immigrants coming into Canada. That's the story of my family. When we first came to Scarborough, we went to a local Chinese church which provided a lot of orientation, support. They offer not just spiritual or social support, but they offer material support, guidance, something that is much needed in a very difficult settlement journey. A lot of people think of migration as just leaving a home country and then landing and arriving to a new place and you're done. But to me, migration is a long-term experience. It's an experience that even echoes through the next generation as a second-generation immigrant. In this installation, the idea is to keep it a very much alive and living product. And the vinyl mesh material really allows me to do that. It has a lot of give and movement to it. It moves with the wind. I think that's a very beautiful quality. The way the light hits it at different times of day, because of the translucency, you really have to come back at different times of day. You have to be patient, walk around to really get the full experience of the installation. A lot of the times, art isn't a very accessible place actually. It has its own kind of sterile condition a lot of time, white walls, very strict behavior, protocols that a lot of people might not necessarily feel comfortable with. So being situated out right here in the entrance, a lot of people have the opportunity to walk through, be around the art project and really kind of experience it in an everyday life. And I think that's what great public art does, is that it engages people. So currently I have about 150 of the places of worship in Scarborough documented. So I'm about in the halfway point. My goal is to have a complete kind of living history, an archive that captures everything where people can go back and reflect on all these places of worship right here in Scarborough.